Hola, estudiantes. Your title for grammar topic 8 is the verb estar with emotions. The first three sentences that you see are Yo estoy emocionada, Pablo está emocionado, and nosotros estamos emocionados. I want you to try to figure out a connection between the verb in green, that is bold, and the adjective in black, that is bold. So remember, adjective agreement, you have different endings. You have gender and number. So you have a masculine singular, feminine singular, masculine plural, and feminine plural. And you're going to notice something a little bit different between the verb endings when they are singular versus plural to match the adjectives. So the next group, you also have two singular and one plural. El estudiante está nervioso. La estudiante está nerviosa. And los estudiantes están nerviosos. So you see that there's something a little bit different in the third sentence with the verb because it's now plural instead of singular. This is very similar to any other verb. The verb changes because of, remember, first, second, third person, and then singular, plural. That's why we have 6 spots in our verb charts, which we'll see in just a second. The last group of sentences are using the word tranquilo. So we have usted está tranquila, estoy tranquila, and estamos tranquilas. So now the three plural adjectives are emocionados, nerviosos, and tranquilas. And we see that the verbs that go with them are estamos and están. That's very important because those are on the right side of the chart because they're plural. So I want you to keep in mind that the left side of the chart is singular, which you've known, but just a reminder, and the right side of the chart is plural. So you see how if it's on the right side, the verb kind of shows that it's plural because where it is in the chart, but it should always match up with your subject and then your adjectives also agree. So in the first group of sentences, the third sentence, nosotros estamos emocionados. It's only ironic that all three of the words end with os, but they are all definitely plural. So nosotros is we, estamos then means we are, and emocionados has a plural ending. So you see how it all agrees all the way across. Same thing with los estudiantes están nerviosos. The verb están is going to be on the right side of the chart on the plural side. Los estudiantes is plural and nerviosos is plural. So all the way across it agrees with the number, with the plurality. And then lastly, estamos tranquilas. Again, estamos is we are, that's plural, and tranquilas is feminine plural, so it agrees. So what I want you to do for this slide is just write the green words in bold, and I want you to try to put them where you think that they would go in the chart. So you're going to draw out your chart that looks like this. This is very sloppy, but remember it's 3 rows and 2 columns. And I want you to put each of the green words where you think they go in the chart, and then you're going to check your work in just a second. Make sure you do this in your notes. If it's wrong, you're going to change it later, or you can just cross it out and start over. But I want to see what you can do without actually seeing the chart formally in just a few seconds later on in the video. There's one that you won't see in the examples, so just leave that blank for now. There's one that's not represented in the sentences. All right, so just a reminder about the verb ser before we move on. You do not need to write the sentences at the top, but you do need to write the stuff in the green thinking bubble. So it says, remember that the verb ser means to be. This is also true for the verb estar. So that makes it a little bit difficult. We have the verb ser, that means to be. The verb estar means to be. So we have to know when to use the verb ser versus the verb estar. So it's important to know when to use each verb because they have totally different contextual meanings in Spanish. Remember, the verb ser is used with characteristics, origin, identity, and nationality, and those were the main themes of Unidad 2. Now that we're in Unidad 3 and we're looking at the verb estar, we have a new acronym that will help you remember when to use estar instead of ser. So estar is used with health, emotion, and feelings. location, and then prepositions and progressive. The only ones that we're going to talk about in Spanish 1 are the H, the E, and the L. And when we get to Spanish 2, you'll learn about what prepositions are and what the progressive is. Just know, as a big picture, ser is used for characteristics, personality, physical description, the origin, identity, and ESTAR is used with mainly your health and your emotions. And then in another unit, we'll talk about ESTAR with location. So you're going to copy the stuff inside of the speech bubble so that you know when to use the verb estar. All right, so here's your formal chart. You can check your original chart and see if you got those words in the right spot. It should be estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. You're going to completely cross out that chart at the top if you were wrong. If all you need to do is make a minor change, then you can go ahead and do that in the original chart that you wrote. I recommend writing this exactly the way you see it. So the light green columns here and here, that's just a reference to those subject pronouns. So you have yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, and ustedes. It's just a reference. The conjugation is what's here in black that is bolded. Estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. A couple things you need to notice about the verb estar is that the bottom four, estás, está, estáis, and están, all have something in common, and that is an accent. Okay, it's very important to have the accent on these four conjugations because the accents affect pronunciation and sometimes they affect the word meaning. So make sure you have those accents where they are supposed to go. It's on the A on all four of those. Lastly, I want you to notice, like I said in the previous slide, those translations are going to be the same as the translations for the verb ser. So for estoy, it means I am. But we know from Unidad 2 that soy also means I am. So again, you have to make sure you're talking about the correct context when you're using estoy. So you can say things like estoy feliz, I am happy. Estoy enfermo, I am sick. Or later on when we get to location, estoy en la clase. I am in the class. So you're looking for context clues. You're never ever going to use estar when you're talking about the way you look or where you're from, your identity, and your nationality. It's always going to be ser for that. So for this, we're just doing estar, and specifically for this, we're doing estar with emotions. So you've already been exposed to the emotions vocabulary when you had your emotions video lesson. So you have things like triste, cansado, enojado. You need to go back and continuously review those because you're going to use them with the verb estar and for your práctica. If you have questions about the video lesson today and what the difference is between ser and estar or how to use the verb estar, make sure you ask me or send me an email. Also, remember that emotions are adjectives. So even though this is a verb, you're going to use it with an adjective. So the adjectives have to agree, just like they did with the verb ser or any other things that you're describing. Okay, hope you guys are doing well.